although the season for us is over, I really cannot be upset because in my opinion, I feel like we really overachieved. I mean, first of all, we wasn't even supposed to make it to the postseason, but somehow, some way, we managed to sneak into the 7th seed in the East, made it to the playoffs, and not only did we make it to the postseason, but we made it to the second round. We beat the Philadelphia 76ers, the 2nd seed in the East, to make it to the next round. Of course, we won game 1 against the Bucks, but they beat us 4 games in a row to move on to the Eastern Conference Finals and to the NBA Finals to face off against the Clippers. Thank God they did not win. The Clippers are your NBA champs, but enough about them. Back to our squad. I'm really proud of my guys. How can you be upset with that, bro? We wasn't even supposed to make the playoffs, but we end up making it to the second round. Props to my team. But before we continue, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is the Prince YouTube PS Compulsion signing in here, aka Prince Anthony, aka the Dark Magician, aka Donnie Magician. But like I said, our season is done. It's time to progress towards the off-season. But before we get to the off-season, there's a few things that we need to do. And the first thing I need to do is purchase a new skill. And the skill that I definitely need heading into the off-season is favorable destination. Allows the GM to sign big name free agents more easily. If you guys don't know, or if you guys haven't been caught up on the series, Drummond has decided to test free agency. He's a big name free agent. This skill is definitely needed. Quick plug though, if you missed those past episodes, bro, what are you doing? You gotta stop this video right now, go back, make sure you're all caught up, make sure you leave a like, make sure you leave a comment on those past episodes, and also, since you're here right now, leave a like, leave a comment on this video also. Now, next thing we gotta do is allocate our funds for next season, and look at us, we are in the green. Well, you don't really see green on the screen, but in general, we are in the green. Donnie Magician, successful businessman, all about the money. And last season we made a good amount. Everything is maxed out, bro. Our player payroll, staff payroll, we just maxed out. The arena operations, team operations already was maxed out. Same thing for promotions. We're doing well financially, to say the least. And of course, we cannot get to the off season without our head coach or somebody in our organization coming to us personally and giving us some more tasks to accomplish. Head coach Steve Clifford came to us and he was like, bro, we're kind of underwhelming at the point guard position. We should get more talent there. And to be honest, he's telling the truth. Besides Markelle Fultz, the only other point guards that we have on the point guards that we have are Chase Randall and Matthew Dellavedova. Needless to say, that's more than underwhelming, bro. So nonetheless, of course, I promise to complete that task. In the offseason, we definitely have to get a good backup for Markelle Fultz. And of course, one task was not enough. Steve Clifford said our second unit doesn't really have a leader. I think we should get a strong 6-man to lead the charge. And I find that funny because last season, our 6-man was Mo Bamba. The dude jumped up to like an 80 overall. If that's not a good enough 6-man for you, I don't know what is. Drummond in the starting lineup, starting center, coming off the bench, leading the second unit, Mo Bamba, an 80 overall. Bro, that's more than a 6-man to me. A 6-man is normally between like 75 and 80. Mo Bamba is at the peak right there. Soon he's going to be complaining about minutes. But it's time for us to knock out 2 birds with 1 stone. He wants us to get a leader for the second unit. He wants us to get a better 6-man. All we gotta do is get a good point guard to come off the bench. That way, we have a better backup point guard, and we got a 6-man. Works out for everybody. So we have finally arrived at the offseason. I skipped past the player retirements. Same players always retiring. And the league meetings, because I'm not changing any of the rules. We have arrived at the draft lottery. And to be honest, we are probably going to have a late first rounder. So yeah, you see it right there. Because of our successful season, sneaking our way into the 7th seed, we made the postseason. Our first round pick is the 20th overall pick in this year's NBA draft. And in my opinion, I don't want that pick. You guys know how I feel about picks that are not top 10. I don't want it. And another thing that really makes me not want this pick at all, we have a custom draft class. And the 2K draft class, the custom ones are pure trash. All those players are like injury prone, and there's never any good players on those custom draft class, bro. Like, look at these players. They all look like they're trash. So when I started this series, I didn't see no option to, you know, import a custom draft class, which is really horrible. Maybe just like in NBA 2K19, you had to play the first season and then the next season they'll allow you to do it. So I'll keep my eyes open. By the end of the offseason, we should be able to choose a custom draft class. If we can't do so, then picks are basically going to be useless to me because I don't want any of these custom players. And now continue with the offseason in terms of the staff. Our CFO, his contract expired, and our head scout. So we need a new CFO, we need a new head scout. You guys know my mindset or my motto when it comes to choosing staff members. Choose the best available. So we got ourselves a brand new CFO, B- in business. Also, a brand new head scout on a 4-year deal, B+ in scouting. And he has a badge, same thing for my CFO. What more can we ask for? I'm keeping the rest of the staff the same. But now we have arrived at the NBA draft. First overall pick, Dwight Pollard. He went to the Charlotte Hornets. They had the #1 pick. But nonetheless, like I said, I don't want nothing to do with that custom draft class. And I do want to make some moves to make this team better. I want to make some trades. But looking at all the players that we have on our roster right now that's eligible to be traded, in my opinion, I think it's best we really stand pat and hold on to all of these players. I'm not trading Zach LaVine. But I was thinking about trading maybe Jonathan Isaac or Mo Bamba, but Mo Bamba has a team option on his contract, so it wouldn't be smart for me to do that. But Jonathan Isaac, maybe. Let's see what we could get for him. So I was looking through the trade finder, see what we could get for Jonathan Isaac, and I saw a lot of pretty decent deals in my opinion, but none of them really stood out to me. I mean, if I'm giving up Jonathan Isaac, I gotta get back a better small forward. That's the position that I really don't want to lack in, because what Jonathan Isaac brings to the squad is defense, not really offense, but defense. So if we're giving up Isaac, we have to get back a small forward that can play defense, at least more than an 80 overall, and none of these trades are really doing it for me, bro. So I was like, you know what, in terms of players, I'm gonna stand pat here at the NBA draft. I'm not trading any players, but I am trading our 20th pick in this year's NBA draft to the New York Knicks. And the New York Knicks, I thought it was going to be their pick, but it's a 2021 first round pick from Dallas that they're trading to us. We're just going to swap picks. I went ahead and did this deal because we might as well get a pick for later since I'm not using my pick now. Makes sense. So now it's time for the pending options section of the offseason. We have no players that has team options on their contract that I could pick up for this offseason, but Andre Drummond declined his player option. He's going to test free agency. I'm kind of nervous about that, like really nervous. I really hope he doesn't decide to leave. And in terms of the qualifying offers, of course, I am offering it to everybody. That makes them a restricted free agent. So if another team offers them a contract, we can match it. Especially for Alonzo Trier, 78 overall right now. I need him to come off the bench in that second unit. Coming off the bench behind Zach LaVine, perfect. I really hope Trier decides to stay. I'm making him a restricted free agent. The rest of the squad, I really don't care about those players, but we need to fill the roster, right? So the time has finally arrived. Welcome to the free agency moratorium period. Same free agents as always. We got players like Anthony Davis, DeMar DeRozan, etc., etc. But our focus for right now is re-signing Andre Drummond. If he doesn't decide to sign with our squad, doesn't really matter. We have a backup in Mo Bamba. Let's see what happens. So before we make Andre an offer, check this out. I was looking at all of his other offers that he got from other teams, and a lot of these contracts are like underwhelming. A lot of teams, well, all the teams want him on a 1-year deal. And in my opinion, I feel like this is kind of insulting. I know those other teams have money to sign Andre to at least a 3-4 year deal for like at least $100 million. All these teams are offering it, they're offering him 1-year deals, less than 10 mil. This should make getting Andre Drummond back on our squad a piece of cake. So I brought Andre Drummond into my office. I was like, bro, all those other contract offers that you got, I know they were weak AF. And he says, you know what? You're right. I want a 5-year deal worth $165 million. What do you think? I think you're kind of mad. That's a lot of money, bro. That's really a lot of money. So you guys know how cheap Donnie Magician is. I offered him a $150 million 5-year deal instead of $165 million deal. He said he was going to think about it. That's all I want to see. Bro, this is the best deal you're going to get. The rest of the teams are trying to offer you a 1-year deal, bro. That's no stability at all. And at this point in the offseason, I decided I feel like it would be best to keep this team together. We're trying to bring back Andre Drummond. The team really overachieved. We made it to the second round of the postseason. Somebody said in the last video, in the comment section for the last episode, shore this team up, make this team a sure thing with the pieces that you already have. I was like, I wasn't too sure about that, but now checking this out, looking at the contract extensions part of the menu, Markelle Fultz and Aaron Gordon has decided they are willing to re-sign with our squad. So that means if we resign Andre Drummond, we more than likely have to re-sign these two players, because think about it, everybody else on our team are going to be locked in for years to come. We're going to have a chance to build that team chemistry, a chance to develop those players. Zach LaVine, Andre Drummond, they're going to be locked into good contracts. It will be good for us to lock down Markelle Fultz, Aaron Gordon. That's our starting five right there. The only player that I'm unsure about is Jonathan Isaac. He is ineligible to be offered a contract extension, and he is expected to ask for a $20 million plus. And that's not good for us, because if he wants that amount of money, because he's ineligible for a contract extension, we wouldn't be able to go over the salary cap to re-sign him to that deal. Meaning, by the end of this offseason, we more than likely are going to have to get rid of Jonathan Isaac. So we're at the end of the free agency moratorium period. Andre Drummond, of course, decides to re-sign with our squad. Once I saw those other contract offers, I was like, there's no way Andre Drummond is deciding to sign with another team on a 1-year deal instead of 5 years, 150 mil. Of course, we got back Andre Drummond. We brought back Wayne Ellington, Wesley. We signed Nas Long to a 2-year deal. Excellent defender. And then in terms of veteran leadership, we brought in Vince Carter. Let him end his career here in Orlando. We need him for veteran leadership. And we got ourselves a backup point guard. 77 overall, Austin Rivers decided to sign with our squad. I think the team is looking good right now. Or maybe not. 2K never allows me to have good things. Austin Rivers, we do not have enough money to sign him under the cap. So, Austin Rivers still going to be a free agent. We don't have enough money to get him. But we did get every other player that agreed to sign with our team during the free agency moratorium period. So, the only thing we really need right now is still a better backup point guard. But now I'm going to shift my focus for a quick second, right? So, hear me out on this one. We need a better small forward, since Jonathan Isaac, his contract cannot be extended, is ineligible. He's going to ask for like a $21 million deal, something more than 20 mil. We're not going to be able to give him that money because we can't go over the salary cap to sign him. So I was thinking maybe we could include Jonathan Isaac in a sign and trade with the New Orleans Pelicans. And who do we want from the Pelicans? Brandon Ingram. So now that today is the first official day of free agency, Brandon Ingram agreed to a deal with the New Orleans Pelicans on a 4-year, $97 million contract. So I wanted to see if the Pelicans will be interested in doing a sign and trade with us. And if you guys don't know what a sign and trade is, basically it's when a team signs a player to a max contract and they trade the player. Basically, it's self-explanatory. But it would end up working out for both teams, because now the team doesn't lose a player for nothing. They get compensation back for him. And on top of that, the player receives his max contract. It works out for both the player and the teams involved. Let's see if we can make it happen. So in order for us to make that deal for Brandon Ingram to do a sign and trade on NBA 2K20, I'm gonna have to go to the options and disable the option recently signed restriction. I had to disable it. That's the only way to make a sign and trade happen here on 2K20. In general, I've been asking for this feature on 2K for the longest while possible. Include sign and trades for Mygm mode. NBA 2K21, they need to have that feature, bro. Like, it happens in the NBA all the time, sign and trades. Make that a thing. So now it's time to make that deal for Ingram. Try to get that sign and trade going. A few offers later, I offered the Pelicans a Godfather offer, bro. I'm giving them, or I'm trying to give them, Jonathan Isaac, Al-Farouq Aminu, the first rounder that I got from Dallas, well, basically the New York Knicks had it, that first rounder, a future first rounder from the Los Angeles Lakers. our first round pick for next season and our first round pick from 2023. I am willing to offer all of these things for Brandon Ingram. I added the trade exception, and bro, they did not accept it. Like, who in their right mind would not agree to this trade offer? I'm giving you 4 future first rounders, bro. A young small forward in Jonathan Isaac, a veteran in Al-Farouq Aminu to help out your big man on your squad. And you did not want that. All of that for Brandon Ingram, and you are not willing to give him up. That is insane right there. I have nothing else to say about that, bro. The deal is dead. So that deal didn't work out for Ingram, but continuing with free agency, we signed Brad Wanamaker to a 1-year deal. We needed a better backup point guard, and based on our cap space and the players that we could afford, he was the best available, bro. He's gonna have to do for now. And to end free agency, Alonzo Trier thought he was slick, about to accept that offer from the Houston Rockets. I was like, that is definitely not gonna happen. That's the last thing the Rockets need, a player like Trier on their squad. I am matching that contract. It's a 1-year deal worth $5 million. Trier, you thought you was slick, but welcome back to the squad. But now it's time to check out the player progression for our squad, and I see a lot of green, so I'm pretty much happy. Like I said when I first started the series, well, I showed you guys the sliders. Player progression is a 45, player regression is a 55. If you guys want me to change that, I'll go ahead and change it. But a lot of our younger players are on the rise, but our older players are on the decline. I feel like that's pretty fair. Players like Vince Carter, his overall is going down. It's kind of expected. He's 43 years old. Like, the dude is still in the NBA. He has a chance to end his career here in Orlando. But the rest of the team is developing pretty well. Although our roster is looking pretty good, there is still one more move I want to make before we end free agency, and that is finding ourselves a better backup point guard. So I was looking through all the point guards in the NBA, and I found my son Devontae Graham. Dude is extremely underrated. Right now, he's a 79 overall. I was like, you know what? What if I could strike up a trade with the Hornets and get Devontae Graham from them? It seems like they're rebuilding. They did have the #1 overall pick in this year's NBA draft. What if I could offer them at least 1 or 2 first rounders for Devontae? Maybe it could work. So I opened up, proposed a trade. I'm willing to give them Ken Birch because that's literally the only player eligible to be traded on our roster. Everybody else was recently signed. And 2 future first rounders that don't belong to me to begin with. One belongs to the Dallas Mavericks. One belongs to the Los Angeles Lakers. I offered them that deal for Devontae Graham. And ladies and gentlemen, they accepted the deal. We got ourselves a beast of a backup point guard in Devontae Graham. Welcome him to the squad. So Markelle Fultz, 81 overall. Devontae Graham, he bumped up to an 80 overall. They might be fighting for the starting point guard spot on our squad. Let's see how that goes next season. But Brad Wanamaker, I decided I'm gonna go ahead and waive him, although we just signed him to a deal because we have to get another center. We just lost a center and got a point guard, so we got to get rid of a point guard and get another center. And in terms of the center position, we need a 3rd string center. We have Andre Drummond. We still got Mo Bamba. I want someone that not necessarily is going to get much playing time. Someone that's a veteran. We need that veteran leadership. I decided to sign Tyson Chandler to a deal. Welcome him to the squad. And continuing with the offseason, Detroit will be hosting All-Star Weekend next year. Congrats to them. But we got a little bit of bad news because in terms of a custom draft class, is not gonna happen. Normally at this point in the offseason, once we get to the 2K Hoop Summit or whatever you call it, we have the option to choose our custom class, but I did not get that option. So it seems as though even though I'm playing an unranked Mygm 2.0, I still cannot get custom draft class, which really sucks because it makes all of our picks useless. Not that I was going to use it to begin with because this squad is looking pretty beastly, but in general, we have yet another custom 2K draft class, and all these players, look at them. They look like they're pure trash. And to finish off the offseason, Zach LaVine, perimeter defense training camp. I had to send him there. I mean, look at those defensive stats. Those defensive stats are not good at all, bro. You're gonna have to bump that up. And same thing for Markelle Fultz. Our starting backcourt with Fultz and Zach LaVine, not the best defensively, but they could get it done on the offensive end. sending them to perimeter defense camp to work on their defense. That's basically the only downside to Fultz and Levine. But they're working on it, bro. They're working on it. Andre Drummond, already a beast defender. I sent him to big man offense training camp. Boost those offensive stats up. I want to see him dominate down low. His post moves is at 82 now. Come on, bro. It's time for you to dominate next season. And last but not least, I spent some VC to send my entire team to free throw training camp. A lot of their free throw stats are not the best, bro. It's not the best. We have certain players that are really good at shooting free throws, but the rest of the squad is not really. I say like half the team can shoot free throws and half the team cannot. But after this camp, boost those stats up, make it look as good as I possibly can. But the off season has come and the off season has gone. We are ready for the new season. Looking through our roster, we got a good mix of young players and veterans. Vince Carter, veteran. Tyson Chandler, Al-Farouq Aminu. So we got ourselves some good veterans, and then our young core is ready to ball out. Andre Drummond, Zach LaVine, Jonathan Isaac. I might have to find a trade for him at some point of the season because it's pretty obvious that we're not going to be able to re-sign him, and I'm not letting him walk away for nothing. He's an 84 overall, bro. I'm not letting that happen. Then we got players like Mo Bamba, Markelle Fultz, Devontae Graham. Our second unit is going to be beastly. So as always, guys, make sure to leave those comments in the comment section below. Let me know what you thought about all of our off-season moves, because our team is looking good right now. Also, let me know how you guys feel about this roster. Is this a championship contender? Because in my opinion, it kind of is. We got a B starting five that's only going to get better with time, and then coming off the bench, we have a good second unit. Oh yeah, I also forgot to say Kevin Porter Jr. How can I forget about him? Our second unit is beastly. Oh my goodness, like our team is really looking good. Leave those comments in the comment section below. And also, if you made it to the end of this episode, please make sure that you leave a like. I already told you to leave them comments, and also tap the bell icons for notifications. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, because if you made it all the way to the end of this video, to the end of this episode, and you could not do those three things, bro, that's some real shady business. But for everyone that does it on the regular, you leave a like, you leave those comments, and you're subscribed. Tap the bell icon for notifications, or you tapped the bell icon for notifications. Guess what? You're loved, you're appreciated. Best of all, you're the real MVP. So make sure and click one of those playlists on the screen. Check out some of my other content. My content is lit, my content is fire. I will see you guys in the next episode for the start of the new NBA season with this beastly squad. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is the Prince of YouTube, aka Donnie Magician, signing out.